We went out and got every single 14-inch gaming laptop. Yes, all 11 of them. Well, today we're going to rank them from worst to best, and then we'll be awarding winners for several different types of buyers, such as those shopping on a budget and those looking for maximum performance. But before I do, did you know that only 17% of our viewers are subscribed? We want to make better videos for you, and we want to make more of them. That way we can make all the videos that you want us to. We can only do this with your support, so please get subscribed. It's something free and easy that you can do that will make a difference. Now, I'm going to start by walking you through some important factors when picking a 14-inch gaming laptop. Then I'll hand over to Sierra to count down our favourites. Firstly, should you buy now or wait? Nvidia's new RTX 5000 series should be announced at CES in January. Laptops will probably be available around March or April. Given that Nvidia hasn't released a laptop GPU in 2 years, I would imagine that this is going to be a big one. I also expect that many gaming laptops will be redesigned to coincide with this. If you are a gamer who wants the absolute best gaming performance, obviously you should wait. If you instead want a great deal, now is a phenomenal time to buy, as gaming laptops are heavily discounted. In fact, that's where our website comes into play, justjosh.tech. We've built a custom laptop buying website where we share our favourite laptops for all types of buyers. And we also share the best deals currently being offered on them from across the web. We even have a helpful price tracker to ensure that you are getting a killer deal. Now, when picking a gaming laptop, beware. It's not just which GPU the laptop has that dictates performance, it's also how much power is fed to it, the amount of VRAM it has, and what CPU it is paired with. Some of these laptops have great GPUs, but don't feed them enough power. When it comes to VRAM, these come with either an RTX 4050, 4060 or 4070. Now the 4060 and 4070 both have 8 gigs of VRAM, so nothing to see there, but the 4050 only has 6 gig. Even at 1920 by 1080 resolution, this may affect performance, particularly if you play visually demanding games like Cyberpunk. Hardware Unboxed, by the way, they have a great video showing how much VRAM common games use at various settings. I'll link it down below. Now, another factor that will affect performance is the screen's resolution. A high-resolution display is more demanding. You want a better performing GPU. Sure, you can use Nvidia's DLSS and technologies like that to scale up, but even with those, you will see less performance than on a low-resolution display. Plus, low-resolution displays give you better battery life. We have a showdown on that. Given that these laptops all have small screens, you may not actually want a high-resolution one. But before you make this decision, keep the following in mind. High-resolution displays have important benefits outside of gaming. Small text will look crisper, and you'll be able to see it more easily. This is important for people like software developers or those working with applications like Excel. Heck, with a bright, high-resolution panel, you will find you can fit more content on screen as everything looks sharper and is just easier to make out. One approach you could take is offsetting your gaming laptop's display with an external monitor. For example, buying a laptop with a high-resolution screen and then an external monitor with a lower resolution, fast refresh rate one for gaming. That's when you're docked. Or you could do the opposite. These solutions give you the best of both worlds. All these laptops do allow you to plug a monitor directly into their dedicated GPU for maximum performance. Also, the difference between a 14-inch or 14.5-inch display is more material on screens as small as these. A 14.5-inch laptop is likely to be less portable, but you get the benefit of more screen real estate to work with and a more immersive gaming experience. Now that I've gone through what to look for, I'm going to hand it over to Sierra to walk you through our rankings and announce our awards.
Thanks, Josh. And folks, I've read your comments that I speak a bit too fast. Don't worry, my mom says that too. So I'm going to try to speak a bit slower here. Just kidding, not that slow. Now let's get into it. Number 11, MSI Cyborg 14. The Cyborg 14 is the first and worst laptop on our list, mostly because it suffers from a low wattage GPU. You may be excited to see that such a budget laptop offers a 4060, but it won't matter if they aren't feeding enough power to it. You'll see this in TimeSpy, a DirectX 12 gaming benchmark, where its scores are about 20% worse than the 4060s and the other ones. Besides the underfed GPU, you also miss out on USB-C charging. This means that unlike every other laptop on our list, you can't bring a smaller charger with you on days that you don't need the full performance out of your laptop. Between these two major cons, we don't see it being good for people who want portability or performance. Number 10, MSI's Stealth 14 Studio. The Stealth hasn't received a design update in the years since we've had it in. This means it maintains its upgradable memory up to 64 gigs of RAM, but the positives stop there. When we reviewed it in our 14-inch roundup, we found its build quality to be pretty poor. It has noticeable screen and deck flex with its fully plastic chassis. In addition to that, we found its keyboard to be one of the worst on our list at the time. And FYI, we aren't the only reviewers who think so. It feels low travel, and it has an odd key layout, which often results in mispressing the page up and down key. This was super disappointing considering how pretty it is with its individually lit keys. Some other cons include its poor battery performance and the fact that it gets both loud and hot during gaming. When rewatching our old review, I had a hard time finding many pros for this one, so we'd still recommend skipping it. Hey folks, quick interruption. We noticed during editing that the next two laptops we plan to go over are no longer available from their manufacturers. You can still find them on clearance or open box, but we wanted to make sure to let you know. Number 9, Dell's Alienware X14R2. Next on our list is another one of the laptops from last year's roundup that we weren't very impressed with. It has a super comfortable keyboard, but that's about it. The X14 can now only be found in a 4050 configuration, which would perform worse than the 4060 one we had in last year. It's also quite expensive considering its worse graphics. On its keyboard, it's placed too far forward, which makes for an extremely uncomfortable typing experience due to the tiny palm rests. This also leads to a tiny trackpad. On top of its keyboard placement, it had high-pitched fan noise and a dim display, which means you have to squint in brighter environments to see anything. This discomfort during both light use and gaming is one of the main reasons that the team doesn't like this laptop. Even if you're someone who is docking a laptop all the time, you will still be hindered by its RTX 4050 limitation. We are now done with the laptops we outright don't recommend. The next laptops are the ones that might be a good buy on a big sale, but they aren't our favorites. Number 8, Razer's Blade 14. Let's start with what we liked about the Blade when we had it in, and there is a lot to like. It feels premium, has beautiful RGB keys, nice trackpad, great ports with charging on either side, and it even includes upgradable memory and storage. So, why is it so far down our list? It's incredibly expensive. It's listed at $2,700 for the model that comes with only 16 gigs of RAM. Yes, it has a high wattage, powerful 4070, which is nice, but so do a couple others on our list and they are cheaper. There are some other cons too, like its uncomfortable low-travel keyboard. Razer putting such a keyboard in their laptops is odd since they got famous for making great external keyboards.
It's not my favorite keyboard for gaming.
The switches could use some work.
Keyboard, I'm not a big fan of the Razer keyboard.
Like all Blade laptops, Razer has a rather unique cooling design. It sucks air through the keyboard to cool the internals. This makes the all-important WASD keys feel nice and cool to the touch. However, the laptop's metallic chassis eventually warms up and never cools down. If you aren't okay with a warm-feeling laptop, this one isn't for you. Additionally, the Blade also has quiet speakers and poor battery life. Overall, the value of this laptop simply doesn't live up to some other ones on this list. If you get a killer sale on this one, it might be worth it, but we think your dollars are better spent elsewhere. Number 7, Acer's Nitro 14. This one has great ports, stays quiet and cool in light use, and offers a larger 14.5-inch screen. We like it all right, but it has Acer's signature non-standard keyboard with their proprietary keys and media controls along the right side. This pushes the rest of your keyboard to the left a bit, so you may hit that Nitro button when you go for the backspace, which is super annoying. On top of that, this one is the heaviest on our list. It feels pretty cheap, and it gets overly loud in both its performance and turbo modes, so your gaming experience is less enjoyable. The placement of the ports closer to the front of the laptop also means that cables may get in the way of your mouse hand. If you're considering this one, we think you should wait to see what else Acer has to offer higher on our list. Number 6, Acer's Nitro V14. Best budget. One of the main pros of the newly released Nitro V14 is that it is more affordable at a $1,099 MSRP. It is on the lighter end thanks to its plastic chassis now without the stadium in the back, which also makes it smaller than the other Acers on our list. It offers a fun look with its all-white finish and subtle shimmer, a 14.5-inch screen, upgradable RAM up to 32 gigs, a rarity on these laptops, and it stays very cool to the touch while gaming. Its main con is that it only comes with a 4050, which leads to lower performance scores. It does have a lower resolution screen, which, as Josh said, helps you keep your frame output higher, but this is still disappointing. On top of that, we think it feels very cheap, and we found its fan noise to be high-pitched and annoying. Oddly enough, it has some fake vent cutouts on the back, which really irked us and cheapened the experience even more. We think the Nitro's V version is okay since it's a budget gaming laptop, but most of these laptops are actually in a somewhat similar price range right now. If one of the better ones I'm about to mention goes on a big sale, it will probably make more sense to get that one over this. Number 5, HP's Omen Transcend. This is a laptop we like a ton for students and programmers, but not so much for pure gamers. That is because it offers a comfortable experience in a premium-feeling chassis, but its performance isn't the best of the bunch. Its pros are that it has a beautiful OLED screen, a comfortable keyboard with customizable RGB zones, and less fan noise than every other laptop on this list. It also doesn't feel warm in light use, and it frequently goes on sale, which you can see on our website's price tracker. Its major con is that no matter which GPU it comes with, it is only fed 65 watts. This is because they wanted to keep its power draw within the USB-C envelope. This leads to much poorer performance in more demanding titles like Cyberpunk. This helps with heat and fan noise, but means you're not getting the full performance that you're paying for. Since this eliminates it for a lot of people, we couldn't put it higher on the list, even though it is a team favorite for the light gamer. Number 4. Acer's Predator Helios Neo 14. Best gaming experience.
Sierra, I'm going to jump back in and talk about the Predator Neo, because for some reason, I seem to really love this laptop. It's got a high-powered 125-watt RTX 4070, and it has a stunning bright 14.5-inch display with the highest resolution of any of these laptops. This combination of its great graphics performance and its large display, to me, delivers the best gaming experience of any of these devices. Plus, it feels solid despite its plastic chassis, and it stays quiet and cool in light use, which I appreciate. However, it does have cons. It's heavier and larger than the competition. In fact, it weighs around the same as the Acer Zephyrus G16. That is a laptop with a larger 16-inch display that I personally prefer. And even though its keyboard is comfortable to type on, it has that non-standard Acer layout. I often mispress keys. And when gaming, it has loud fan noise and gets a bit warm. By the way, in full transparency, our first model had a quality control issue. It wouldn't turn on nor stay on without its charger plugged in. We opened it up to confirm that the battery was indeed connected. We even reseated it just in case. But the problem persisted. Acer did send us a second unit and it's been working perfectly. But as always, we would recommend buying from a store that has a hassle-free return policy just in case.
Number 3. Asus's Zephyrus G14. Most premium. This is one of the most popular 14-inch gaming laptops out there right now, and there's a lot of good reasons for that. Not only does it offer up to a 4070 with 32 gigs of RAM for great performance, but it's also the smallest chassis with the most premium look and feel in this form factor. We like its 2.8K screen, single-zone RGB keyboard, front-facing speakers, smooth trackpad, and how it stays quiet in light use. Its biggest downside is that it always feels warm. Even in light use, it is warm. A little positive note is that in gaming it doesn't get that much warmer than casual use, but that's what happens when you shove high-powered components inside a tiny metal chassis. Its only other negative is its higher price tag. Number 2. Lenovo's Legion Slim 514. Most comfortable. The Legion Slim 514 has been a consistent favorite of ours ever since it came out last year. It offers an extremely comfortable gaming experience, a high-resolution 2.8K 14.5-inch OLED screen, a great keyboard, upgradable storage with an extra slot, and an expansive port selection, including a full-size 4-in-1 SD card reader. The speed wasn't listed on their site, so we tested it, and it seems to be UHS 1 speeds. On top of all of this, the Legion regularly goes on sale below its $1,450 MSRP, which is already a good deal for this machine. Our cons with this one are its boring gray aesthetic, which is a pretty silly downside, and a more relevant one is its older AMD CPU. This uses Zen 4. It's likely that Lenovo hasn't yet updated it to AMD's much better Zen 5 processor because RTX 5000 comes out early next year. In fact, the only laptop that has that awesome processor just happens to be our winner. Number 1. Asus's TUF A14. Best all-rounder. We were super impressed by this laptop. It is comfortable to use during gaming, partly due to the efficiency of its Zen 5 processor. This leads to noticeably less heat you feel, less fan noise, and better battery life. In fact, it's the best of the bunch. Not only is the Zen 5 processor efficient, but it's also powerful. It performs the best in CPU tests like Geekbench, which represents a variety of common performance tasks, and Cinebench, which tests the processor when it's maxed out. That goes for both single and multi-core. Some other big benefits of this laptop is that it's the lightest laptop on our list, has a nice incognito look to it for students or working professionals, and it has a crisp 2.5K screen. It also offers an additional M.2 SSD slot to upgrade your storage, which is nice to see. Its main cons are its build quality and its price. We found that ours felt noticeably less premium and didn't quite sit flush on a desk. The second build issue was so minor that I didn't even notice it at first. We reached out to Jared from Jared's Tech. He had 2 units and said they both didn't have this issue. It is likely that ours is an anomaly. The material of the palm rest was also a bit odd where my wrists would start to feel sweaty after a while, but it wasn't too bad since the laptop stays so cool there. Its second con is its price, as this is meant to be a budget laptop from their TUF range, but its price doesn't match this, especially since it only comes with a 4060. We'd recommend buying it around $1,400 or less. But even with these 2 cons, this is our favorite laptop. It's a great hybrid device. It's great for students and light users who like to game on the side. It's very light, has a comfortable keyboard, a pleasant display, and the best battery life of the bunch. I use it all the time to write scripts. And in gaming, it gives you good performance and is more comfortable to play on than many of the competitors, likely because of that AMD Zen 5 processor. Note, there is the older Zen 4 version that's meant to be cheaper, but that is not the laptop winning this award. You should only purchase that model if its price is much lower than the Zen 5 one.
Well, that is a wrap. As we only went through each laptop briefly, make sure to check out our website justjosh.tech. Not only will you find the best prices on these laptops, but you'll also see more details about what we think of each of them. We even have links to our YouTube videos for the ones that we've done more detailed reviews on. YouTuber shtick time, smash the like button and get subscribed. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day and we will catch you later.